Just because she got pregnant before marriage, the woman received nothing but $6 in bride price from her boyfriend's family, and even that was tossed at her with a take-it-or-leave-it attitude. Looking at the few crumpled bills scattered on the floor, her heart ached deeply. She suddenly began to regret everything: how she had cut ties with her parents just to marry this man, how she poured all her savings into supporting his startup dream, how she stuck with him through 3 years of eating instant noodles, even carrying his child before marriage. But in return, all she got was cold eyes and humiliation from his family. What they didn't know was that the woman they mocked as some country bumpkin was actually the heiress of a trillion-dollar conglomerate. On the wedding day, his family deliberately delayed the schedule. His sister even claimed they were doing it to put her in her place, to stop her from acting superior after marriage. As the lucky hour slipped by, the anxious bride called her fiancé, but he casually said they were still checking hotel dates, looking for a luckier time, then hung up the phone without a second thought. 2 hours later, his family finally arrived. During the traditional door game, her bridesmaids asked for a small symbolic red envelope, but just as the groom was about to hand it over, his sister stopped him, saying since the bride was already pregnant, there was no point wasting money. At first the bridesmaids thought it was a misunderstanding, but in the next moment, his sister impatiently ordered people to kick open the hotel room door. Seeing this, the bridesmaids wanted to stand up for the bride, but were harshly scolded. His sister said the bride had no shame, getting pregnant before marriage, and didn't deserve a proper wedding. Hearing all this, the bride instantly regretted everything: how she had been nothing but loving and obedient, shared his burden, endured hardship for years, carried his child, and yet now all she got in return was this ridicule from his family. One bridesmaid tried to speak up, but the sister slapped her in front of everyone. The bride then tried to gather courage to ask for the symbolic $6,600 bride price, but his sister immediately changed her tone, mocking her for being a country girl with no family and no power, and even daring to ask for $66. She said a proper bride price should have been at least 60 grand, but the woman had asked for only $66, considering his family's poverty, and instead of being grateful, the sister insulted her even more, saying an orphan from the countryside dared to open her mouth and ask for $66. Then she pulled $6 from her wallet and threw it at the bride's feet. The scene was so awkward, no one knew what to say. Right then, a senior executive from the woman's parents' company arrived at the wedding. Having heard that the CEO's daughter was pregnant and getting married, he rushed to the venue and publicly announced a promotion, naming the groom the company's new general manager. But what should have been the bride's glory turned into the groom's bragging rights. He instantly felt like he had married up, and even thought the bride had begged to marry him. His sister then ordered the woman to kneel and tie his shoelaces. The woman was completely numb. She regretted severing ties with her family in a moment of emotion. With no one backing her, not even dogs respected her now. She lowered her head and touched her belly. There was no way out. This was the path she chose, and even if she had to crawl, she'd walk it for the sake of her child. So, to everyone's shock, she knelt down and tied the groom's shoelaces. She thought, if she could humble herself to the dust, she might earn some respect in this marriage, but she never expected. The next second, a sharp pain shot through her belly, and instead of showing concern, the sister excitedly grabbed a bottle of champagne and sprayed it over her head like it was a celebration. In that moment, she completely gave up. Tears welled in her eyes, but she forced them not to fall. And just then, her parents arrived at the venue.